G'day guys, my name's Dominic from Tom's Outdoors, and today we're just down by the river with a review on the Hypolite Junction 2400 White. So this pack has been with me for about 12 months now. I specifically got it for the Australian Alps walking track, which some of you may have seen a video on. So I got it for that trip, but I've been using it ever since. It's been a fantastic pack for my everyday. There are also a couple of downsides to the pack, which I'll go over as well. So the fabric used on this backpack is DCH 50 on the main compartment, the main body, and then DCH 150 on the bottom. So it's got a more durable fabric on the base, and then they've cut it back to still a durable fabric, but slightly lighter for the rest of the body, which keeps it right at around 850 grams. So it's a super light pack while still having a frame. So this is a framed backpack. Running on the inside, just down the middle of the back panel here, are two aluminium stays, which I really like. It gives it quite a bit of support against the back and it really carries the load well. I find that when I've got it really packed out, it still keeps any objects from digging into my back, like I've experienced with some frameless backpacks. So if you're looking for an ultralight option with a frame, that's where the Hypolite's going to shine. So taking a look at the exterior pockets, we've got a mesh one on the back, heaps of room in here. Combined with the sides and the back, it's an external capacity of 9.8 litres, which really brings this pack to about a 50 litre. So don't write it off too quickly as a 40 litre. It can fit a lot in there. You can roll it up. I think at the very top, it's got to be a little bit more than 40 litres, or you could roll it down to probably about a 30, 35 litre backpack. It'll roll down as low as the back panel here. What I do like about the Junction pack as opposed to some of the others like the Southwest or the Windrider is that it's got a mix of both types of external pockets with the mesh on the back and the Dyneema side pockets. So a lot of my walks aren't on nice clear trails. A lot of it's through the bush and the scrub, and I'm always brushing up against sticks and logs, blackberries. These side pockets I find are really good at stopping anything from getting snagged, which is the main issue. They fit 1.5 litre water bottles really well. I can actually get two in the side. The mesh has held up phenomenally for what I've put it through. I was having a look at it today and I don't think there's any fraying or rips occurring in this mesh pocket. One thing to note is that the sides are elasticized, which is really cool, but the back pocket, in my experience, has lost a little bit of that elasticity. So just something to note, it will sort of lose it a little bit. That's because I really utilize that external compartment and I usually pack it out as much as I can. Moving around to the side, we've got an accessible pocket if you're using a water bladder or something like that. I personally just clip my knife on the end. It's what I do like about this pack, all the accessory points where you can clip things. Got my PLB on the outside, which is really handy. So an underrated feature of this pack is the external compression strap, which I've used a number of times when I've packed out the pack so full that I can't fit anything else, or if I want to keep something on the outside, I'll put my tent on top here, I'll put rain jackets, my rain pants, anything that's wet, I can just slip it on there, allow it to be on the outside and keep it dry if I'm already using up the other pockets. So I've used that so many times, and in some of this footage you'll see I've got my tent on top, anything on the outside that I need. So you'll notice here that I'm using two of Hypolite's accessories. I've got their shoulder pocket, which is one of my favorite accessories out of all of my hiking gear. It keeps my phone, some snacks, everything I need right there on my shoulder. But if you eat a muesli bar or something and you just want to put the rubbish away quickly without having to fiddle with anything. Now this other one is the Hypolite Porter water bottle holder. So it is designed for the Porter pack. I've made it work for this because I didn't have the bottle pocket that they've only just released. I've clipped it on the shoulder strap there and then run some paracord to keep it from swinging, and that keeps water right where I need it all throughout the day. I sort of have a bit of trouble reaching back to the side pockets to grab water bottles, so if you're wondering if you can do that, some people can. However, I can't quite reach back there. I can pull it out, but I can't put it back in. So the hip pockets on the Hypolite packs and this pack in particular, I find are really generous. So there's a fair bit of room in there. I can stuff it with snacks, put my headlamp there, things like that. Have it right there on the waist. I can open it with one hand. Really nice zip on there that's water resistant as well. So when I was hiking through the rain, I didn't have to worry about my phone or things like that getting soaked through. It's important to note that while the material itself is 100% waterproof, the pack is only water resistant. And this is because the seams aren't fully taped, especially up around the shoulders. So if you're going to be hiking in the rain or there's a heavy downpour coming, you'll still need to use a pack liner or dry bags to keep the important stuff dry. So just to touch on fit, this is the medium version, which suits my back, which is right at around 18 inches, which in their size guide puts me right in the middle of a medium, so it makes sense that it works well. The hip belt clips quite nicely in the middle, and I've got it sitting right on my hip bones. And personally, I'm yet to find a more comfortable pack than this one. That's why it's been my go-to, and I'll continue to use it. The chest straps quality as well. Little whistle on there if you find yourself in a pinch. How I explain the feeling of wearing this pack is that it feels like it's an extension of you rather than something you're carrying. So with traditional backpacks, it always feels like you're lugging it on, and then throughout the day, you're always feeling like you're carrying something. Whereas my experience with this backpack has felt like it's just an extension of me. I feel free, I can move very freely and comfortably, and that's one of my favorite things about this pack. So if you're wondering about load capacity, Hyperlite claim that this pack can carry up to 18 kilos, which technically it would be able to hold 18 kilos, but I believe the comfortable carrying limit would probably be not far off 14 kilos, maybe 15. It's going to depend person to person. I try to carry 12 kilos or less. I find it's amazing to carry a low weight, which is what it's designed for. So if you have a light load, this pack's going to feel like a cloud on your back. But if you are pushing that limit, you will start to feel it in the shoulders and the hips, and it starts to feel a little unstable. Now, it's important to point out the durability of this backpack. I've found it to be more than durable for any of the hikes I've been on in Australia so far. The Dyneema they've used, it handles really well with scrapes and getting caught on sticks and stuff like that. However, on a recent trip in the snow, I did make the fatal error of clipping some snowshoes onto the top of this pack and then skiing down a hill. Silly idea, but essentially I put a hole in it with the metal crampon on the snowshoe. It was swinging on the top and I was stacking in the snow, and obviously a sharp metal crampon is going to go through that. So I got one on each side, which I'll be able to patch up with the Dyneema repair kit. But the point is that it's more than durable for any Aussie environment, in my opinion. Obviously, just look after it. Unless you're dragging it on the ground everywhere, you'll be fine. So I've had this pack for about 12 months now, but I've done a serious number of Ks in it. I did 700 Ks on one trip earlier in this year, so every single day I was using this pack and relying on it. And I've really been stoked with how it's held up and how it feels. So I'm looking forward to many more years of use and just being able to put it through its paces and see what it's capable of. So I hope this review has been helpful. If you're looking at buying a Hyperlite pack or the Junction in particular, all in all, this pack has been fantastic for me. If you're still unsure about if it's right for yourself, give us a call. We'll be able to have a chat about the specifics of your hiking style, where you're thinking of going with it, and hopefully help you decide if the Hyperlite Junction 2400 is the one for you.